Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie, joined by my co-host, Katie. We're identical twin sisters. We invite you to join us as we investigate our similarities and differences in all things life has to offer. Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie.
And I'm your other host, Katie.
Welcome, everyone. Today is a special episode because it is the last episode of season 1.
Woohoo!
Yay! Can you believe that we've had 30 episodes?
Yes.
Well, you know.
Can you believe we've had 30 episodes?
You know what? I should rephrase that. Can you believe that I've had 30 episodes?
Okay, I was going to say, I've probably had 15.
You probably had maybe 16, or 17. Maybe you joined me a couple times for Friday feedback.
Yeah.
So it is our 30th episode, so we thought it was a good time to kind of take a breather, take a break, and get ready for season 2. Yay! How are you feeling about the podcast, Katie? Because I think that most people that know us well might have thought we would have gotten in a fight by now and ended it.
Well, we didn't kill each other.
We didn't kill each other, and we're still related.
Yep. We got close to killing each other, maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we did.
We kind of did.
We did at some point. I don't know how people.
What?
I didn't say hello to the ghost in the room, and now mine is reconnecting.
Oh, as is mine.
Okay, let's just acknowledge the ghost. Hi, lamp. I know you're here. Thank you for having us today.
I did put the lamp on the floor.
Oh, but thank you for having us. Please don't let anything go crazy with our technology. If you guys are just if I don't know how this is going to record, if the last minute even recorded because of the lamp, but our technology just went out.
It's malfunctioning because of maybe spirit.
No, but it's funny because every podcast I do, usually alone nowadays, I will say hello to the lamp when I get here, like the spirit attached to it, and I'll say, please make my technology work. And today we didn't do it.
Wow.
And then
it's a little unsettling because it just makes me feel like there's some spirits in my home.
Well, you know what is so cool is that after this episode,
you're taking the lamp with you?
I'm taking my couch back.
Oh, and you can take the lamp.
I don't need the lamp. No,
all right. Well,
the lamp is already attached to your house.
So we're talking about how it's been 30 episodes. We're wrapping up. We'll start season 2. We'll release season 2. I don't know when.
I think in fall.
Probably
September.
Okay. So that will be nice. We're just taking a little bit of break.
A little break. And we have a lot of guests lined up for then as well that will share those episodes at the time. And it's a little confusing to Katie because we will be recording them during the summer, but they won't be released until fall. Does that make sense?
Yes, true. So basically how the podcast has gone. How do you think it's gone?
I think it's gone really good. It's been fun. I will say that I honestly think there's been some episodes that were slightly therapeutic for me.
I think that the podcast has been a nice form of therapy. I also think that
just say things out loud.
And then to also, I think part of it too is people giving us feedback, because then you don't feel as alone when your stories resonate with somebody or they have stories that they can share with you, and there's like a better, I don't know, it makes me feel less terrible about myself sometimes.
I think that's why podcasts are really cool sometimes, is because we have listeners that we don't know personally, but we have some listeners that are friends, which of course we love and appreciate, and family, of course. But we do have some listeners that we don't know personally, and it's cool that they come back and listen. And my only hope is that they can relate to us in some way, or they see themselves or going into certain situations, or we make them feel better about ourselves because we're embarrassing. Right now I have a yeast infection, too much information, but we've just tried to, I know it's painful to sit. I'm not gonna lie. I've never had one. It's my first one. Not fun. Also, Monistat makes you feel like your vagina is burning. But anyway, we just try to be honest on this podcast, and I feel like that only benefits people and us.
Yeah.
And I think
that, when it came to doing a podcast with Sallie, there is some comfort there because we
talk about everything.
We talk about everything. There's nothing off limits, but also we argue regularly, like, because we're sisters, right? So there was no fear of us like having a giant falling out because of the podcast. But I can imagine if you're best friends and you start a podcast, it could be a little bit harder to create that barrier.
No, I was thinking, because when I was kind of looking up like how long do podcasts usually run or whatever, and it was like 20 episodes. I'm like, oh, we're at 30. Let's end season 1. But when I was looking it up, it was like, give yourself enough time to find a new partner in between seasons and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty common, because you really need to find someone who is going to commit with you. And like, I think the reason we work is because we are never not going to be in each other's lives. So it's like, you know, but like a friend or even a business partner, they might go a different way. Like they might want to go a different way.
Yeah. The blurred line was like when it started to feel like a business partnership, then I'm like the non-committal business partner.
Yeah. Well, she has a pretty committed job.
So I think that was my biggest challenge, was finding the time to like integrate the podcast into my day, and then still finding the time to feel like I'm not stressed out or decompressing at some point during the evening.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was one of the challenges, but I feel a lot better knowing that we're ending season 1.
And season 2 has a lot of good things coming for it.
Yeah.
We're just, you know, like with season 1, we really grinded. We were like recording twice a week.
Time. Yeah.
Well, you weren't.
It felt like it.
Katie
to me.
wasn't.
You know what? I'm a little bit dramatic, and to me, Sallie can handle a lot of go, and
I
like,
can, but I can't.
But I'm like more need my space. You know, sometimes I just need alone time.
Yeah.
So like having the commitment of engaging in conversation outside of my other job and outside of parenting,
it was like, a lot for her.
It was a lot for me, but Sallie handled it much better.
I don't know. I did have a breakdown like a week ago, but it didn't have to do with the podcast.
So if anybody wants to join a podcast.
Yeah, I know. No, it's not about the podcast. Mine was about being someone who always puts a lot on their plate, and then I reached my breaking point.
So you need to say no. You said you were going to practice saying no.
Oh my gosh, we're reconnecting again.
Mine isn't.
Ghosty, what's going on, boo? I wonder what's going on.
I don't
know. Okay, I guess I'll just wait. Oh, okay, we're back. We keep reconnecting, so I'm like praying that this turns out. But anyway, for the last podcast, I wanted to kind of talk about this journey and some of the things that have been great in it, and some of the things, well, we kind of talked about some of the hard things about it. But I also wanted to give a shout out to Mother Willow, because she was the reason we even started this journey, and we've kind of forgot to mention her.
Yeah, I think that like looking back on how we started the podcast, how it came to be, it was a result of a conversation on a girls' trip. And I think that honestly we might just need to do another trip together, because
we need more content.
We need more content. Like we had seen a psychic. We had several conversations. And I think that maybe like you go from being in this like relaxed state on a girls' trip to having a really good idea, and then like coming back to reality, and then maybe we just need to make more girls' trips.
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I will say though, we have like 2 psychics coming on in season 2, so it's gonna be freaking awesome for you guys to hear them and learn about them, because I already know they're amazing. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, Mother Willow. Yeah, so Mother Willow's with us today, and so is Katie's haunted lamp room.
Mm-hmm.
And
and drum roll, please.
Oh.
Do you want to do the drum roll?
Wait, I said ASMR.
Oh, stop it! I hate that. We talked about my sensitivities to sound.
But I don't know how is that gonna work. Wait, no, like
ew. I hate it.
Drum roll.
I hate that noise.
Okay.
And my partner is downstairs.
Is he gonna have a name
and
in season 2?
He's having a name, because I promised that he'd have a name after our 1-year anniversary, and I keep my promises. And his name is Nate, and he's downstairs right now.
Yay!
Yeah. So
We have another study buddy. Woohoo! It only took one whole season, 30 episodes, and we finally got to say his name.
1 year.
There were so many times I had to cut out his name.
I know.
I'm happy that we finally say his name.
We hit a milestone because we reached a year, and then this past week, I didn't even realize this until yesterday when we were talking about it. He stayed over for an entire week straight.
Whoa.
Isn't that insane?
So he's like living here.
So I didn't notice, like, because it's just so natural, and like usually we hang out, you know, and then there was one night that he would have typically gone home, and my son had asked him to stay, and then the next night, also because of the 4th of July holiday, it was kind of like different than usual. My son was here a lot more, but he just kept wanting him to be around, and he told him he loved him.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cute.
I know. It was right before bedtime, and he said,
"Talk about pressure." Poor Nate.
He said, "I love you so much."
Now Nate's like, "I can't leave." Poor buddy. Now he's trapped.
No, but I think it's good. I'm really happy that for all those single mamas dating out there, I'm really happy that I waited 6 months to introduce them, and that it's been going slow, because now I feel like the trust is there, and my son can, like, he kind of built that relationship on his own. Like, we let him come to him, and we didn't push anything.
It also is it's a big deal for you to have someone around all the time, because if you can already tell, Katie is very, how do I put it? She becomes a huge bitch if she doesn't get alone time.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
But you do. No, the fact that, like, he's not getting on your nerves is a big deal.
You know, okay, so the other night, this was like last week or the week before, I'm not sure. We had a elopement wedding party to go to, and they asked everybody to wear white, and apparently it's really hard to find a white dress that looks good. I didn't realize that until I was searching for one. I was like, I can't find one, this is so hard. So I ordered one just last minute because I couldn't find any white dress anywhere that looked good on me, and it was the only thing I had. So we're getting dressed, and it has to fit because it's like last minute, and it was really wrinkled when I put it on. And I was like, oh, I can't go in this. It's too wrinkled. And then Nate was like, go put it in the dryer. And I'm like, I'm kind of worried about putting it in the dryer because, like, sometimes the dryer, like, holds on to, like, blue jean dye, you know, and it, like, tints things blue. So I was like, I don't want to put it in the dryer. So I, like, resisted putting it in the dryer. But then
Why wouldn't you just put on the shower?
Anyways, because it was in the shower, I put it in the shower for like an hour, and it did not wrinkle. So
you need to get an iron.
I'll need to get a steamer.
Steamer, yeah, that's worth it for sure.
So then I was like blow drying it with a hair dryer, and I kid you not, the strap ripped.
Interesting.
The strap that holds the dress up.
Okay.
So then I was like, this is the only thing I had. We were already running late. We arrived like a half hour late because it ripped. So this is something sweet, actually, though. Up until the sweet moment, I was like, I was freaking out, and I was like, Nate was trying to problem solve, and I was like, I just need a moment, Nate. I just need a moment. And
Katie gets stressed out by.
I walked away.
I can't wait for all the stories we can tell. Now.
I know. I walked away, and I locked myself in the bathroom and, like, shed a tear. And then I was like,
oh my God.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I just need a moment because I don't have anything else to wear to this thing.
What if you just showed up in black?
No, seriously. Like, the options were, like, yellow. Like, I have a yellow dress that fits. So then I was like, oh, God. So then he had a really good idea. He's like, just text your across the street neighbor and ask her if she has a safety pin. And I was like, no, she's not going to. No. And he's like, everybody has one. I'm like, I don't have one. And then
most families have a safety pin.
So we texted her, and sure enough, like, not even 2 minutes later, her daughter ran across the street with 2 safety pins. Oh. And Nate pinned my dress back together, and it looked like you couldn't even tell.
I will say it's really nice. You can tell Nate kind of lives here now because she has more furniture than she used to. Katie used to live in like a vacant home, basically, hence the podcast room. I was like, clearly in the room that's empty. But you had many empty rooms, and now your home is like becoming a home. Like, there's more furniture, and like just it's more lived in, which is really awesome.
He's like adding a homey element, but he's also a makeshift seamstress. So I think it's working out for me.
Adam's good at being a seamstress as well, too. I don't know if that was something they taught him in the Boy Scouts, but he's really good at that, too. And he has his own sewing kit, which Mom never gave us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would now I want fabric glue on hand.
Oh, yeah.
I want
You
a sewing
need it.
kit. Yeah.
Yeah, you need it. But talking about our neighbors.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
So the other thing is,
Like, we have some great
our
neighbors. Let's do a shout out because a lot of them
we need to
listen.
do a shout out because we had a 4th of July. First off, my across the street neighbor, she and her family, I've talked about her husband on the podcast before.
God, Katie,
I've also,
what is going on with this?
But I also,
it's an obsession.
I've also talked about her, I think, before on the podcast, but they're just the best. I have the best
She's
across
gonna
the street
come on
neighbors.
and we're going to talk about mom friends next season.
Totally.
Because it is a great topic and I think she has a lot to share.
Yeah, and she's definitely one of those people that, like, it doesn't matter, like, the chaos that's happening in your house. Like, she will never judge. She's just, like, true ride or die, cool chick.
Yeah, I'm like,
so,
yeah, for sure.
But no, our neighbors had a huge 4th of July party, and everybody, I mean, was out in the neighborhood swimming, and they had an inflatable, and the ice cream truck came, and then there were
that was
tons of
prepaid for.
So many fireworks.
And in Florida, it's not illegal to have big ones. I forgot that when in Wisconsin, mom and dad said you can't buy the big ones.
Oh.
So, like, we get, like, a Disney-themed show
in the neighborhood.
But, like, in Wisconsin, that's not normal.
Well, it was just such a cool, it's so cool to see the kids. They played without a breakdown. I'm not kidding. For, like, from 2 p.m. to, like, 11.
There was something, I don't know what the astrology was, but there was something magical about this 4th of July.
It really was. Everybody had a great time.
It was the best day for the kids, but also, like, it was so good for us, too.
It was really fun for the adults.
Yeah, it was really fun for the adults, and, like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know, the day was just perfect.
It was.
And I don't know if I've ever said that about 4th of July before. Like, I know you love 4th of July.
I've always loved 4th of July.
I've never been a huge fan. But this year I was just like, you know what? Like, the kids are super excited. I'm going to get really into it. And it was so good.
I think that, like,
I venture to say it was my best 4th of July I've ever had.
know, like, and I'm kind of happy that we're kind of taking a pause on the podcast, especially with election stuff coming up.
Slow down, you're talking, Katie.
Okay. I think it's a good idea that we're taking a pause while the election stuff is going on. And I know that there were a lot of people, like, feeling uneasy about celebrating on the 4th because of their feelings towards the country. But, like, what I always try to do is remember, A, those who served, but B, like, we have a lot of really great things the U.S. has contributed. And I just, even if it's just, like, remembering Dolly Parton or Taylor Swift or whatever the hell you need to.
It's like naming, like, just singing artists.
Or Simone Biles. Like,
I mean, I want to say, too, like, just a tribute to the people that have pushed for the progress we have.
Exactly.
Had.
Like, the pendulum always swings, you know, one way too far and then back the other way. But, like, to bash the country you live in, I feel like is unnecessary. Like, you know, there's a lot of good that the country has done.
So I think that, like, with the neighborhood party, what things, when you get offline and you're, like, around people that are actually people, right? Like, in your neighborhood, it reminds you, like, most people are good.
People are good.
And, like, most people are good and the good people make up the country. Most of them do, right? Like, the people we hear about on the news are people that are really, like, intense or extreme in their viewpoints. But it's like, that's what I always, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I feel like I got depressed because I was just reading online what people would say. And that's the worst side of people. It's the worst people that are, like, saying their opinions online. I mean, I can even tell you for our neighborhood, in our neighborhood group, the people that we hang out with in our neighborhood are not vocal on the neighborhood group chat. But if I only read the group chat or whatever on Facebook, I would be like, our neighborhood is psycho. You know, like, the people that are vocal, I hate to say it, are the ones that, like,
they're not the majority.
They're not the majority.
Right.
And when you hang around the majority, it just makes me, like, have faith in humanity. And I remember when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had to get back out there and, like, go socialize with people because I was really thinking, like, everyone's terrible. Like, I was, like, really in a dark spot. And I think I totally understand if, like, people have that viewpoint because you're looking online and you're just, like, so beat up about everything people are saying. But I do think most people are good.
Yeah. And I know I've been guilty in past years, especially during presidential elections, of being incredibly judgmental. And since then, I feel like now what is that quote from, oh God, what is that show? Ted something.
Oh, Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso, where he said, be curious. Like, don't make a judgment, be curious, you know, like, because by having the conversation and learning somebody's perspective, you're educating yourself, but you're also giving yourself the ability to evolve and learn something maybe you didn't
And
know.
like this is like talking about people that are kind, want to do well by society.
1,000%.
You know, like obviously we don't mean that for like highly racist, terrible, sexist, misogynist people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be curious.
Or
but
people hiding behind their religion.
To an extent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to an extent. Yeah, oh my gosh. Like, I can't go into that.
Yeah, we can't go into that.
I don't know. Maybe if anybody listened to the podcast and knew I was healing from something deep inside, I'm sorry. I feel like every episode I listen to it, it's like me being like a hint at what I was going through.
Somebody told us recently, like, you need to do an episode on religion.
Yes.
And it's
one of our neighbors, actually.
It's so difficult to do that episode because we don't want to make anybody upset or offend anybody because of our experiences, but we could absolutely talk about religion.
I think that
it would be in season 2 if it happens, and more people need to request it because I do think that it's a very sensitive topic.
I've had at least 3 people request it.
Yeah, it's very sensitive.
And one of our neighbors, she made a really good point, and I don't want to share it right now because it might come in season 2, but so the reason we avoided it is because I'll just put it out there, and like this episode or this whole podcast was so like therapeutic for us because we could really share like our opinions. But for me personally, not speaking for Katie, I've had people in my life who have really made me and my family feel like we're not good enough, that we are probably going to hell, they think, because we didn't practice a religion the way that they thought that it needed to be practiced. And it really made us like question our self-worth, and it made us question like if we were good people. And you know, me and my husband both grew up religious, but for whatever reason we were surrounding ourselves with people that always made us feel like we weren't doing enough or we weren't good enough, and in God's eyes, which is I'm removed from it, and it seems absolutely crazy. But anyway, because it's such a sensitive topic to me and my family, that's why I wanted to avoid it.
Yeah, and I want to avoid it because I don't want to be saved by somebody.
Please don't come for me.
Please don't come and try to save me.
No, but like we know that it's like a touchy subject, and like I know that I'd be speaking from a place of hurt. I think though, honestly, I am getting to a place where it doesn't hurt anymore because I'm like really like like, you know, when you remove yourself from something that was making you sad and you're like, oh, I found myself again. I feel good. I'm regrouped. I can talk about it. Do you know what I mean? But that's why we avoided it. But we did get many requests for it. And like I said, one of our neighbors, she was talking about her religion the other day, and she was like, I really want to hear you guys talk about religion. And I do think that
there's a commonality in the requests though, because we are saying religion, and that is not the case. It's really Christianity that a lot of people want us to talk about.
I think
organized religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have feelings about Christianity and in general. So that's, I feel like the common request, and that's the one where I'm like, I don't want somebody knocking on my door saying they can save me.
I really do pride ourselves on like we've been 100% honest. We've said all the things that we want to say. We've said things like I don't even want my parents to hear, right? So I really do pride ourselves on that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like stop and like not be authentic, but at the same time I think like we needed this season to give me some time to recover, and then like I don't know. I just think we needed like to not focus on it for a second.
Yeah, I think it's more fresh in your world, I think.
No, like, and not anymore, but like season 2 we'll go at it and we'll talk about it.
Totally.
You know? So anywho, I hadn't said anywho in a while.
You said it last episode, I think.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, and yours says, this isn't much of a study.
I haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, you really stopped saying it after the 4th episode. We used to, the first couple episodes, we'd like take a shot beforehand. And I think that like we were really loose for those, which was like hilarious. That's what made them so funny. There's some episodes that I did listen back to and I would like laugh at certain
We
points.
had a lot of episodes that never aired as well, that there was some good content that never even saw the light of the day.
There were so many that we named celebrities, and like the next week they'd be canceled, and then we'd be like, "Thank God we didn't release that."
Oh my God, I remember.
Thank God we didn't release it. Only I will say we named some celebrities, and like every other week, then they'd be like, with Taylor Swift, and I'd be like, we're like channeling Taylor Swift right
The
now.
synchronicities.
Yes.
I feel like when you record something and then the following week you have conversations about what you recorded, even though I've never shared anything about what we're recording with anybody, it just gets brought up in conversation. They bring up something, and you're like, what are the odds that I would have just had an episode about this?
Isn't
and
that
now they're
crazy?
asking me about this. Yeah.
I know.
It's kind of wild.
It's so crazy. What was the most embarrassing thing you shared on the podcast this season? Because there's going to be more next season.
I know. Most embarrassing.
Like, is there anything you shared that you're like, maybe I shouldn't have shared that?
I think when I talked about exes, it wasn't embarrassing, but there were some times where I was like, I didn't have to share that much.
No, I think that.
But there was some I didn't. I feel like I did actually a pretty good job. There were some things I could have shared and I didn't share.
Okay.
I don't know because
I just shared that I have a yeast infection. I might regret that.
That's not that embarrassing.
I think that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like embarrassed by any of it because I feel very confident in who I am. I tell most people most things.
Yeah.
Like there was, I feel like there's stuff even you edited stuff out. I feel like that you thought might be embarrassing. But
did I?
I think so. Maybe not. Maybe when we would like bicker. Maybe.
Oh, but like if we got in a fight.
Yeah. Like
there were like 2 episodes that no. One didn't air.
Yeah.
And one was about Ozempic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I did edit it around it, like where we like picked up when we were like kind of cooled off. Yeah. We had 2 fights this season.
Yeah.
Wow. And they're recorded, which is hilarious.
So that could have been the embarrassing part.
I don't know. I'm like, should we just like actually just share our fights with people? But it's so funny because like I wouldn't be embarrassed to share the fights. Honestly, if you know us, you've seen us bicker before.
Oh, it would just be unbearable to listen to.
Like, I know. I just think that it'd make you feel uncomfortable. You're like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like, oh my God, I don't know. But I mean, you'd obviously all side with me because I'm always right.
I don't necessarily think I'm embarrassed by anything.
Yeah. Was there anything that you were like, what was your favorite episode? Do you remember? To record or to listen to that?
I did like, this is so stupid, but okay, so it's not stupid to me, but it sounds stupid to the podcast people listening.
The study buddies.
Study buddies. I liked the more relaxed episodes for us to record that were not so serious.
So which one was your favorite?
Like when we were just playing the game.
Oh,
I was like, that was just, I know. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was like, that was a fun episode where we just like, and we were like learning about each other, even though we feel like we know everything.
We know everything about each other.
Yeah, that was funny.
Basically, we were playing the game to like listen to you talk about yourself or me talk about myself, and you'd be like, I could have answered that. I answered every question for you.
I think we were practicing interviewing.
But we
were interrupting each other the whole time.
Yeah, we're not good at interviewing each other.
What was your favorite episode?
I feel like I've done a couple interviews now that are going to air in season 2 that I'm really proud of.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like my theory is that if you have this platform, a podcast, I know that Katie and I are great to listen to. We're just amazing. But my theory is we have a podcast. Let's put other voices out there too, So there's a couple interviews I'm super proud of. And the one I just recorded last week, Adam listened to and he was like, that was a wonderful interview.
Good.
I was really proud of those. The most fun episode, I think, were the first 3 episodes where we would just take a shot and just start talking and laugh so hard.
The Mother's Day episode was good though too.
Because I think a lot of people needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's segments of each episode that I really enjoy because I'm like, yeah, sometimes we reach a certain point, especially towards the end of the episode, I feel like when we're getting loose, where stuff comes up that we didn't anticipate talking about, and then it really speaks to somebody. Yeah. And I feel like when it's organic and it just happens.
Oh, yeah. By the way, you said you were going to talk on if you believe in marriage.
Oh, if I believe in marriage.
Or no. If you because you said you ended one episode and you were like, I don't even think I need to get married. I'll just do the ceremony.
Oh, right. I'll have a party.
Yeah.
I'll have what is it called? Oh God, what is it called?
You could have an elopement party.
But yeah, without the legal agreement.
A marriage, not marriage party.
An unmarried party.
Married, but not legally. Legally not married.
I mean, party. I don't know. I believe in marriage because people get married. I've been married. I don't think it's necessary.
No, well, you just said you might not do it next time.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, people that are in really successful long-term committed relationships and even get the rings, but, like, they don't do the paperwork, you know? And I feel like that, to me, feels safer.
Yeah. You know what Adam and I just talked about the other day?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned rings.
Mm-hmm.
When we got engaged, having an engagement ring was the biggest deal, right? You wanted a certain carat, a certain style, all that jazz.
Mm.
I don't really need my engagement ring anymore. Like, I really like my wedding band, like just the plain band.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we ever were strapped for cash,
You would sell it?
I'm not like attached.
What?
No, I'm not attached to it.
What?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because, like, what do you think it is that you're not attached to?
I don't know. I think that it reminds me of a time where I was like really caught up in like
What you needed.
what I needed,
Yeah.
right? Like I needed this certain amount of money spent and this certain cut diamond and this style. And honestly, like lately I've been wearing a lot of the times I would just wear my band, mostly because when I'm like weightlifting and stuff, I don't want to ruin the diamond ring or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like talking to him and I was like, you know, if we ever needed money, like I'd just like let you sell my ring. And he's like, Sallie, no. And I was like, I don't know. It just isn't important anymore.
Well, you would never.
Like it was when I was in a different, like, you know, when you're in your 20s and you're like very materialistic minded. Like I want this beautiful white dress. I want this wedding. I want this ring. And like now I'm like, he has a gold band on his hand that's like $50. Like it's like super cheap. It's lasted. It looks great. And my band, it does have some diamonds in it, but it's pretty basic. And I kind of like the basic of it.
Well, the engagement ring, you'll never get the money that he spent.
No, but no, I know that.
So, like, don't think you're going to get
well, I'm not going to actually sell it.
$10,000 in return.
I kind of like thought about it and I was like, I'm kind of like, it reminds me of a time when we were kind of not who we are right now.
Like more materialistic.
Yeah. Like I'm like mom always said when she looked at her engagement ring my dad got her, she's like, it reminds me of a time when we didn't have as much, you know, like when we were poor basically. And they grew from that, right?
Yeah.
And so hers is really dainty and beautiful. Mine, when I look at it, it just reminds me of a time when I was like focused on the wrong things.
I think
does that make sense?
That's actually really insightful and powerful that you said that, because when you think about where you were and how young you were, to spend that much money on a ring seems kind of like
it's almost sad.
It's like that's a lot of money to spend on a ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you think you're going to be with a person for a lifetime, maybe you want to spend that much money.
And like a lot of guys or women or whoever's proposing, they do save up for it. And
yeah.
Like, but like, I just think of like, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's my perspective on it. And it's definitely changed. And it kind of makes me sad. Like, I'm like, that wasn't important. What was important was like kind of what mom said, the memory of like, oh, we didn't really come from a lot. And yeah, I don't know. It's
yeah.
weird.
I mean, also, I feel like you were getting married at a time when a lot of people are getting married. And so you guys were all comparing. I remember going
out their rings.
Yes, we went to a bachelorette party and all the girls were engaged and all of them put out their rings and comparing. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember I had the tiniest one.
Yeah, and yours was white gold, which because all of us had changed to like gold because it was like more in.
But like, my ex spent his student loans getting me that ring.
Yeah.
And it was like small but like really pretty.
It was artistic.
It was artistic for sure. I gave it back to him. I wasn't one of those people that are like, I'm keeping the ring. Yeah. No, I was like, you can have this back.
Yeah.
And I think he was able to sell it. I'm not sure. But
I guess this is a debatable topic.
But
I know that a lot of my friends would be like, no, the ring is so important. But I don't know. To me, it's not.
I mean,
the wedding band is. I think the wedding band is cute and beautiful, but like
the A ring is important because it's like the commitment factor in public. I would want my partner to look like they're committed to me with that.
Yeah.
But like Nate and I also got tattoos together.
I was gonna,
what's more committed than a permanent tattoo?
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought the other day when I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep wearing this diamond or not. You know, like, but I will save it for like Susie. I feel like my kids might want the diamond.
Oh, yeah, totally.
She's very she loves the fancy things in life.
It's pretty big.
No, it is a really nice ring. That's the thing. It's a nice ring. But I was thinking, I was like, well, I could just wear my wedding band. And I was like, and then Adam and I could get a tattoo on that finger. like, each get a tattoo. And I think that's more of where we are today.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, who we are?
Totally.
But yeah, Katie got a tattoo with her 1-year relationship mate, that I can say his name now. And Mom called me the day after and she goes, should we point out to Katie that tattoos last longer than rings do? Like, is she going to freak out? Like, and I was like, I don't know.
She never brought it up to me.
Well, because she didn't want to freak you out.
Oh.
She was like, oh my God, because every time Katie gets too afraid or overcommitted with like the podcast, with work, with whatever, she ruins it. She like
ruins it.
Well, you do, Katie. Like, whenever like you're like, oh, I think I could see this lasting, or it's overwhelming me how much it's becoming, you kind of freak out.
Yeah.
So Mom and Dad were like, does she know that tattoos last forever?
I'm not an idiot.
And I was like,
okay,
that's more of a commitment than a engagement ring, honestly.
Yeah, okay, but I don't have like virgin skin where this was like my first tattoo, and it's like, oh my gosh,
I know, but it's still like a memory. Like, if you dated someone else in the future and they're like, what does that tattoo mean?
I think it's perfect.
You'd get it covered up.
It was perfect for us because I absolutely 100% don't believe I'm ever going to regret it. I would never regret a tattoo. I have a tattoo on my ankle from when I was 18 years old. It's not even the tattoo I wanted. It's just the one I got. And I still don't even regret that. And I don't even want this thing on my body.
I don't regret tattoos.
I do not regret tattoos because every tattoo you get
it's such a memory.
has a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big story. I don't regret tattoos. I love scars. Like, every scar on my body has a story. I'm not trying to remove like stories in my life. Like, that's not part of who I am. Yeah. So, and I, in my past marriage, I asked him for to get a tattoo with me all the time, and he never would. And like,
which is crazy, and he had tattoos.
Which is wild because, he had tons of tattoos. And if I had gotten one with him though, I wouldn't have regretted it either. Yeah. So that's just who I am.
It's true. I do think that is true. Like, when you do get a tattoo, you're in it's almost like, it sounds so silly. It's almost like a spiritual experience.
It totally is. Yeah, it totally is.
I've listened to psychics and people be like, oh, it's opening a portal. Like, it definitely is like something spiritual. And I truly do think it is a spiritual experience. It gives me the same high that seeing a psychic or going to like a sound bath or like anything spiritual that you do. Getting a tattoo gives me the same like high. I think because it's like it's in a way like, I don't know, like saying and committing who you are even more.
It's a commitment. And also, I would love to interview a tattoo artist because they hear so many stories.
Would you actually be in the interview if I booked a tattoo artist?
I mean, it depends.
Okay. Well,
yeah. But I would be curious because they hear everybody's story, and I think that's probably a really rewarding career.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it probably is. Because it's so emotional. Like, sometimes it's just fun. I mean, they probably have the whole gamut of...
Well, the coolest thing, so if you go to Ink and Barley in St. Augustine, it is a husband and a wife, and the husband is a beer enthusiast brewer, I think. He actually brews his own beer. I'm pretty positive, but you'll have to read the website. But he opened a bar in the first part. Like, when you walk in, it's a bar with craft beer. And then you go back further into the building, and it's her tattoo shop. And they do it. It's really just, like, really cute, lovely place to go. And
like, after your tattoo, you can go
that's exactly what we did. After our tattoo, we grabbed a beer and then we went to dinner, and they just made the experience so pleasant that
every tattoo artist I've ever gone to, which is only 2, have been therapists.
Yeah.
Like, literally lovely people. I just wanted to talk to them the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. Totally. I honestly, when you got a tattoo, I was thinking, I'm like, I bet you Adam's going to get another tattoo. And I was like, I think we're getting close. But then you got it. And I'm like, sometimes I feel like my thoughts become what you do. That happens so much where I'm like, oh, I think like, one day I was really thinking of like another baby, and then you called me and you're like, maybe I'll look into something. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like sometimes I think things, and then Katie will say the next day like, oh, I did this, or I looked into this, and I'll be like, is this even my thought? This is Katie's thought.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have this weird, I know we're ranting now. This about
No, I know, but it's the last episode.
The last episode. So this while did I tell you how I froze my eggs? Did I tell you how the storage facility is closing down with them?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so the storage facility that I have my eggs in currently is closing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So where did they go?
So I need to contact them this week because I've told the July 15th to tell them what I want them to do with them.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And I have to pay like a fee, which I'm not even ready to pay. I need to figure this out because
So wait,
they're either going to a facility in Atlanta because that's their other facility, which seems kind of, I don't know why I'd want my eggs stored in a different state, because when I want to use them,
you're like, because they're my baby.
I want to have them in Florida where I'm getting treated. So I probably need to find something in Florida. But then otherwise they said they could dispose of them. And
Are you fucking kidding me? So you pay all that money and then they're like, we don't have storage anymore?
So they've said they could move them for me to Atlanta.
For free?
No, I think there was a cost. This is like the wildest.
This doesn't seem legal.
Just like
wait, does this have something to do with the laws going on?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been asked. I need to call them and talk to them.
Yeah, that's messed up, Katie. I don't feel like you should have to pay to move the eggs that they were storing.
Well, you know, and I also think that I paid originally for like 5 years of storage, and so I need to know like what that, maybe if that was to them, maybe if they moved it to Atlanta, they'd still honor that. I'm not sure.
That's so messed up.
Yeah. So
I was reading something the other day, and it was saying that when you take your blood test to see how fertile you are, oh look, I'm paused again. Man, my camera's not loving me today. But when you take your blood test to see how fertile you are, what they consider fertile now would have been the line of which they tell you were unfertile like 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, Nate was like, well, why would you need your eggs? And I was like, you know, women don't get any more, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not like sperm where you are constantly creating eggs.
Like, those are the last good ones I got.
So, like,
the ones in me, probably.
If I decide I want another child, we can use them. Like, if we're having trouble, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think people understand that too. Like, as we get older, you lose your eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Sally's video is not recording her right now,
then you're just going to hear Katie.
I'm going to go ahead and say we're over time.
So we're going to end with one deeper question, because I have the game right here and we talked about when we did the deep and deeper interview. So we each get to end with one question. I'm going to look through here. We don't need icebreakers. We're deeper. Oh, this is a great question.
Okay, what is it?
Do you ever compare your relationship to anyone else's, and why? Who's it? It says who's and why.
Oh, okay. So so it's hard to answer this because I don't feel like I necessarily compare anymore.
You used to.
I used to do it. When I was younger, I used to compare my relationship to everybody around me all the time. I was in a terrible relationship. Of course I was comparing.
Advice to anyone. Yeah, she's like, what's normal? Like, is it normal to fight all the time?
Is it normal that we're fighting every day?
Yeah,
is it normal that we treat each other like crap?
Yeah. That was also the time when you would like probably boast the most that you guys were great.
Well, we were like terrible together but obsessed with each other, if that makes sense.
But also I feel like you were like trying to make up for how terrible you were, so you were telling everyone like, we're amazing. We had like nobody has the bond we have.
Well, I was probably like trying to convince myself.
100.
But no, I think when I don't know, from in my most recent relationship, I don't know if it's just because I'm much older or it's because we have a very calm relationship. I don't compare it to anybody because I just feel like it's very good. Like, it's just chill.
I think that's how
there's nothing to look at in anybody else's relationship to compare to, because like I'm content.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes, because I'm like what I do sometimes look at marriage, people that are married, and I can be a little bit like, oh, why did they get married? Like, I feel like if anything, I'm like, is it better to? I don't know.
You're scared of marriage.
Yeah, so. I think sometimes I look at people that are married. I'm like, ooh, that looks terrible.
Yeah, I will say that when you were married, you were a lot more critical of everyone else too.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think that like the fact that you're not comparing anymore just means you're in a healthy place.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have time to compare. I feel like I don't have time.
Katie's too busy.
I'm too busy, guys.
She thinks she's the busiest out of all of us.
I am too busy. No, you're just as busy, but I'm not going to say I'm not busy, because I am busy, and I feel like too busy to compare my shit to somebody else's. Yeah. Do you want to say if you compare your relationship to other people?
No, I don't. Yeah. Or no, I mean, not that I don't want to say, I don't compare my relationship.
You compare though sometimes, like how people spend their money, like how they choose to live their.
Oh, it's because like I'm in this era where I like, really, materialism is like turning me off.
Yeah.
I don't compare. I don't think I'm making a comparison. I'm just like, I could have a whole farm.
Yeah.
I want a farm. But yeah, no, that's me just wanting my farm and just to live on the land. I'm going through a phase right now where, like I said, I want to like sell my engagement ring. I just am going through a phase where like certain materialistic items all of a sudden are feeling like this is not important. What's important is like the earth and my family and making memories and animals. And I don't know, I'm just like getting really like into a vibe, and I don't know how long I'm gonna last in like the materialism culture that like is suburban
Like keeping
life.
up with the Joneses.
Yeah, it's really like, and I don't think it's good for me either, because I try really hard to keep up with everyone, but it's not natural.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, your question is, I think this is a good optimistic one to end on.
Okay.
For this final question of the season.
Final question of the season, and I might not be recording, so I mean, I guess it's Katie's final
you
question.
don't necessarily need the video though.
Yeah.
You can release the audio.
I know.
Okay.
You guys, if you could see what I'm frozen on too, it's like the most ugly, unflattering photo. And I'm just staring at myself with like a double chin.
Speaking of embarrassment, no. Okay, so this is the question.
Okay.
Optimistic. End the podcast season 1.
What Katie's telling me to be optimistic.
What is at the top of your bucket list?
Aww. I want to say, first of all, not to be cheesy, but I checked off a lot of my bucket list this year.
Oh my God, you're such like a humble bragger.
No. That's not a humble brag. I'm literally outright saying it.
Okay, so what did you check off?
This year, in 2024, I got my first book published.
Oh, true. Yeah.
We started a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to work.
You did a lot.
I did a lot. Like that's why I'm like,
you came
on my bucket list.
Puppy mom.
I was a puppy mom. I'm a mom of 4. I would say toddlers and up now. Like not even babies. We got through the baby phase. 2024 is a year I will never forget.
True.
It is a year I feel like. That's why I tell everybody, if there is something that's hurting your heart or someone that's like toxic to be around, the minute I cut certain things out of my life, it's insane how much goodness came.
Yeah, for sure.
It's insane. And my bucket list, I mean, I marked off a lot of it, honestly, this year. So it's hard to answer. In my future, I've said it a million times. Everyone on the podcast is going to know I do want a farm someday.
Yeah.
I want animals. I want land. I want that lifestyle.
True that.
So that's the next thing on my bucket list, but that is probably a couple years away. And so I'm going to say my next thing on the bucket list is recording an awesome season 2 for everyone to hear with really great episodes, funny and sentimental. I love the mix of it all.
That's cool.
Okay, Katie, what's next on your bucket list?
I want to help baby sea turtles get to the ocean.
You've said that since forever.
I wanted to do this forever.
Oh my God, you have to do it.
It's like, I have it on my vision board. Like, I want to help the little hatchlings get to the ocean.
Oh my God. Katie, you need to sign up like 3 years in advance.
No.
Are you on a list?
I'm going to figure it out because it's been something I've wanted to do.
They're going to have like everybody there, and then Katie's just going to like follow along.
I'm like, I've talked about this for years, and I don't know why the heck I'm not doing it.
No, I don't know why you're not doing that either. We live in Florida.
I know. So if you sign up, that's a very serious.
If you sign up, we should sign the kids up.
Oh,
that would be a core memory.
That could be a core memory.
But yeah, if you ever come to Florida, please walk alongside the baby hatchling turtles as they go to the ocean. It's the cutest thing ever. We've seen a million videos, never done it. Mm-hmm. Also, there are manatees that you can go to, and what is it called?
I love the manatees.
Something Springs.
Oh, is it
Blue Springs?
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna get it wrong, so I don't want to say.
Anyway, Google where you can swim with the manatees, and they come in the winter.
Is it like Crystal River?
Crystal River, yes.
Yeah.
They come in the winter. They come to the springs because the water is warmer, and you can swim with them. And legally, you're not allowed to touch them unless they touch you, and they do touch you, which is adorable. Yeah. These little toothless little monsters that are underwater, they're just so cute. But yeah, if you ever come to Florida, you have to do that. Adam and I did that, and it was a life-changing
I want to do that too.
Yeah, it's honestly amazing.
The turtles I'm going to figure out first.
And then you went to a wolf sanctuary.
Oh, yeah. So there's the Shy Wolf Sanctuary.
Is that in Tampa?
No, I think it's here in Naples.
Okay.
But it's really, really cool. It's amazing. It's rescue wolves, and like you learn so much about them, but it's called Shy Wolf Sanctuary because wolves are actually really shy, which you don't know. But you can go into their enclosures and sit with them.
I know that they're shy.
And again, you don't go up to them because they're shy, but they'll come up to you and you can pet them.
That's so cute.
It's really cool.
So anyway, there's lots of cool like experiences that aren't just Disney.
Yeah.
But
all of the animal rescue.
We have to do the sea turtle thing.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like you're going to do it with Nate now, who has a name. Nate with a name. But I do think the kids need to do it eventually because they would love it.
Oh, totally.
I bet you need to be a certain age because they probably want to make sure you aren't going to scare them.
I think it's like a whole like rescue sign up volunteer. Yeah, I don't think the kids maybe would be able to.
No, but I really think there's a wait list.
Yeah, I know. I think
like
so
years
too, yeah.
long.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to walk along those sea turtles. Next tattoo Katie's going to get is the sea turtle. I've seen so many turtles lately.
Really?
What do you think that's a sign of?
I don't know, but I just was talking about tortoises yesterday, so
that's crazy.
That is interesting.
Huh. I've seen a lot of turtles lately.
Also, a reminder, tortoises are a protected species in Florida, so do not pick them up and move them.
It's different than a snapping turtle.
It's just keep them where they're located. Obviously, if they're in the middle of the road, move them to the other side, but like do not move them outside of their path.
All right.
Okay, that was my spiel for today.
Last thing I want to say to everybody is we thank you all for listening to us. We don't know why you do it. Again,
this episode, there's nothing we did. We didn't talk about anything in this episode.
It was a closure episode. Jesus.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It wasn't even a debate. I had to say it.
It wasn't even a debate. The mother will was definitely here. And so is the spirit because she froze my freaking camera. Like, why did I even put on makeup for this? I'm frozen.
You
I'm
look
frozen
like
in time.
The little girl from The Ring.
Great. But anywho, thank you guys for listening to us. We don't know why you do it, but we love you. And also thank you for growing the podcast with us. Like it has been amazing. Like I will say to see the numbers grow every week. That's freaking
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
And the locations.
That's one of the coolest parts.
Hey, we got to 10 different countries this year.
Pretty cool.
Pretty fucking cool.
So write in because we haven't Sally's recorded a couple episodes for season 2, but we have yet to record the rest. So write in with suggestions on topics you want us to discuss, and we really will do it if enough people suggest it.
We'll do it if like one person suggests it. We just need to get there.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you again or hear from you again or
talk with you,
chat with you again,
chat to you.
You know what? This year we learned how to use Audacity, which is like a sound mixer. We learned how to video record. We learned how to get our mics right. We learned a lot.
We've cut back on the number of times we say the word like.
Yeah, we've improved in our speaking skills to an extent.
I mean, if anybody wants to improve in their speaking skills,
just listen to yourself
talk and you'll be like, oh crap, I can't say that anymore.
Yeah, I sound like an idiot. It's horrible.
Worst podcast ever.
Yeah. So anyway, I do think we've come a long way, but season 2, I promise you will be a smoother ride with maybe just as many cool things to talk about. We love you guys. Thank you for being here, and
peace.
See ya in season 2.
Woohoo.
Which should be the best because 2 is the best.
2 is the best.
Well, I was thinking
2 is better than 1.
2 is better than 1. That's true.
In most cases.
Bye.
Hi everyone, it's Sally. We're going to leave our story there for today and pick up next week on Twin Study After Dark. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, please rate, review, and subscribe. We'll meet again next week for more Twin Studies. Bye.